Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the real estate journey here in North Dakota, Minnesota. Today we're focusing on North Dakota. I'm James Poukka, your host and realtor with Archer Real Estate Services, located here in the historic A Street in Fargo, North Dakota. Today we're diving into a topic that every renter and landlord should be aware of, commonly found rental violations. Ensuring your rental properties comply with these regulations not only keep you on the right side of the law, but also ensures safety and comfort for all your residents. So let's get started. First up, fire safety. Smoke alarms are required in specific locations, in sleeping areas, bedrooms, and in every room in the path means of an egress from the sleeping area to the door leading from the sleeping unit, or otherwise the hallways. Each story within the sleeping unit, including basements and each level of the house. Carbon monoxide alarms are equally important. They should be installed outside each separate sleeping area in the immediate vicinity of the bedrooms. Within the bedroom, if there's a fuel burning appliance or an attached bathroom, in dwelling units with a fuel-fired appliance or attached garages. For doors, deadbolt locks are essential. They should be readily openable from a side of an egress without keys, special knowledge, or effort. Have a minimum lock throw of 1 inch. Remember, the entry multi-unit building is not enough. Each unit's door needs to have its own deadbolt. Now, regarding wiring, avoid using flexible cables for permanent wiring or running them through doors, windows, or walls. Make sure all cover plates are in place. For open risers, openings more than 30 inches vertically to the floor below shouldn't allow the passage of a 4-inch diameter sphere. This applies to both interior and exterior stairways. Exterior surfaces should be in good condition. Protect wood surfaces from the elements by painting or other treatments. Eliminate peeling, flaking, and chipped paint by repainting. Every bathroom and toilet room needs a mechanically ventilated system unless there's a window. Clothes dryers' exhaust systems must be independent and vented outside according to the manufacturer's specification. Handrails are required on one side of every stairway with more than 4 risers, with a clearance of 1.5 inches between the wall and the handrail. Windows must be free from cracks and holes and operate as designed. Interesting fact, in Fargo, the limit of unrelated tenants is 3. Bedrooms should meet the standards minimum ceiling height of 7 feet, minimum stairway height of 6 feet 8 inches, and bedrooms shouldn't be the only means of access to other bedrooms. Minimum room dimensions of 7 feet and an area of 70 square feet plus the 50 square feet per additional occupant. Emergency escape and rescue openings must function as designed. The purpose of this segment is to provide landlords and tenants with the information about their responsibilities and the legal rights in North Dakota. This segment includes a general overview of North Dakota landlord-tenant laws and other information on renting. It's important to note that the segment does not substitute for professional legal advice. Each case can vary, so detailed legal research or opinions may be necessary to resolve any specific issue. Remember, many of the law's provisions may be changed by agreement between the landlord and the tenant. That's why it's always good practice to have a written lease and to be familiar with its provisions before signing it. Before signing any lease agreement, prospective tenants should visit the rental unit. According to the North Dakota Century Code, landlords must provide a check-in sheet describing the condition of the unit. This statement, agreed to and signed by both parties, serves as proof of the condition of the unit as the start of the rental agreement. Make sure all the conditions are correctly stated on the check-in sheet to avoid any misunderstandings. Landlords have the right to require tenants to make a security deposit which cannot exceed 1 month's rent. This deposit guarantees against unpaid rents, damages, and cleaning costs. If a tenant owns a pet deposit may also be required. Landlords must deposit the security money in a federally insured interest-bearing account. Upon the termination of the lease, the deposit and the accrued interest can be applied to any damages, unpaid rent, or cleaning costs. When renting a unit, you enter into a legally binding rental agreement, which can be verbal or written. It's recommended to keep it on file with lease agreements, notices, and any correspondence. There are 2 types of leases, periodic leases and term leases. A periodic lease has a specific ending date and is usually month to month. It automatically renews each time rent is paid, whereas a term lease specifies the length of tenancy, such as 6 months or a year. The tenant is generally liable for rent for the entire lease term. Both parties should understand and agree to all the terms before signing. Keep in mind, a court may refuse to enforce part or all of a lease if it finds the terms unfair or one-sided. This is rare and requires the tenant to demonstrate that they had no real choice to accept the offending provision. Tenants must pay rent on time, whether the lease is verbal or written. Late fees must be specified in the lease. For periodic leases, tenants can raise the rent with a 30-day notice. For term leases, cases, rent generally cannot be changed during the term lease unless both parties agree. In the roommate situation, each person is responsible for paying the whole rent. One person moves out, the remaining tenants are still responsible for the whole rent. Federal and state laws prohibit discrimination based on various factors, including race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, disability, age, marital status, and the status of those on the recipient of public assistance. Now, if you believe your rights have been violated, you can always file a complaint with the appropriate authorities. The responsibility for paying utilities is typically specified in the lease. Landlords must maintain the property in a habitable condition, while tenants must keep the unit clean and use the facilities responsibly. Tenants should notify landlords promptly when repairs are needed. Check back to review this video for more information. Now, landlords may enter the dwelling unit for emergencies, inspections, or repairs or showings, usually with a reasonable notice. Terminating a lease requires proper notice, which varies depending on the lease type. Now, victims of domestic violence have the right to early lease termination with proper documentation. Upon a tenant's death, the estate remains liable for rent for the month of the death plus one additional month. Abandoning the property may be disposed of or sold to the landlord after a specified period. At the end of the lease, landlord should return the security deposit within 30 days or provide a written explanation of any deduction. Tenants can take disputes to small claims court if necessary. Remember, it's not about living in fear, it's about being prepared. So whether you're a seasoned North Dakotan or a Minnesotan considering a move to our prairie paradise or the Lakes Country region, keep these safety tips in mind, stay vigilant, and stay safe out there. Now tune in every Wednesday for fresh, insightful content on FM Real Estate, packed with tips, tricks, and all you might need to know. Let me sprinkle my Midwest charm to brighten your midweek. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss an upload. My name is James Poukka, your guide through the world of real estate here at Archer Real Estate Services. Stay curious, stay inspired, and as always, thanks for joining me on this journey.